The sinking of the USNS Card. 1964, a shockwave triumph. In the annals of the Vietnam War, few operations resonate with the audacity and impact of the attack that sank the USNS Card on May 2, 1970. A daring strike executed by Viet Cong commandos that sent shockwaves through the American military presence in South Vietnam. Anchored at the bustling Saigon port, the Card, a World War II-era aircraft transport ship reactivated for logistical support, stood as a symbol of U.S. escalation in the conflict. Under the cover of darkness, two Viet Cong operatives, led by the ingenious Lam Son Nao, emerged from a sewer tunnel, planted explosives on the ship's hull, and detonated a blast that sank the 9,800-ton vessel in a mere 48 feet of water, killing 5 crew members and marking the first major U.S. naval loss to enemy action in the war. This meticulously planned assault, carried out months before the Gulf of Tonkin incident, showcased the ingenuity, courage, and resolve of the Viet Cong's 65th Special Operations Group, turning a routine resupply mission into a propaganda triumph that reverberated across continents. This essay explores the historical context of the USNS Card sinking, the intricate execution of the operation, the strategic brilliance behind it, its seismic impact on the war, and its enduring legacy as a testament to Vietnam's resistance, as viewed from the vantage point of February 26, 25. By early 1964, the Vietnam War was simmering on the edge of full-scale American involvement. The United States, committed to thwarting the spread of communism under the Cold War's domino theory, had escalated military aid to the South Vietnamese government of President Ung Ngo Dinh Diem until his assassination in November 1963 and his successors. The Military Sea Transport Service, MSTS, a branch of the U.S. Navy, played a pivotal role in this buildup, ferrying troops, helicopters, and supplies to bolster Saigon's fight against the National Liberation Front, NLF, commonly known as the Viet Cong. Among the vessels tasked with this mission was the USNS Card, a Bogue-class escort carrier turned aircraft transport crewed by civilians but owned by the Navy. Launched in 1942 as USS Card, CVE-11, the ship had hunted German U-boats in the North Atlantic during World War II, earning 3 battle stars and a Presidential Unit citation for sinking 11 submarines. Decommissioned in 1946, it languished in the Atlantic Reserve Fleet until May 16, 1958, when it was reactivated as USNS Card, TAKV-40, to serve the burgeoning Vietnam effort. Since 1961, it had shuttled H-21 Shawnee helicopters, fighter bombers, and personnel from U.S. bases to ports like Saigon, its deep draft requiring the city's commercial docks, the only ones capable of handling such tonnage. On May 1, 1964, the Card sailed into Saigon via Gan Rai Bay and the Long Tao River, docking to unload a fresh cargo of military helicopters and retrieve others for return to the United States. To the Viet Cong, this frequent visitor was no mere transport. It was a floating emblem of American imperialism, ripe for a strike that would signal their defiance. The Viet Cong, formed in 1960 as the armed wing of the NLF, relied heavily on guerrilla tactics to counter the technological superiority of U.S. and South Vietnamese forces. The 65th Special Operations Group, a covert unit of commandos, specialized in sabotage and urban warfare, striking at the heart of enemy infrastructure. Lam Son Nao, a 27-year-old stevedore at Saigon Port, emerged as a key figure in this shadow war. Educated by the Jiming Revolution and trained in explosives, Nao had joined the Viet Cong in 1963, his insider knowledge of the docks making him ideal for a mission that would soon etch his name into history. The sinking of the USNS Card was not a spur-of-the-moment attack. It was the culmination of months of planning, reconnaissance, and a failed prior attempt that honed Nao's resolve. In December 1963, he had targeted the Card's sister ship, USNS Core, another aircraft transport docked in Saigon. Disguised as a dock worker, Nao swam to the Core with a mine, only to see it fail due to a faulty detonator battery, a setback that fueled his determination to succeed next time. When Viet Cong scouts spotted the Card entering Saigon on May 1, 1904, Nao seized the chance to redeem that failure, orchestrating a strike that would shake the American naval presence to its core. Now's strategy was both simple and audacious. Infiltrate the heavily guarded port via its sewer system, plant high explosives on the card's hull, and detonate them with timers to ensure a safe escape. He assembled a team of two, himself and Nguyen Phu Hung, a 22-year-old electrician newly recruited to the 65th Group. Nguyen Van Kay, a mason trained for the mission, fell ill and withdrew, leaving Hung to step in with minimal notice. At Hung's home at 9 a.m. on May 1st, Now briefed him tersely. Sink the biggest American ship in port, handing him a hand grenade as a last resort. The equipment was meticulous. 80 kilograms of TNT for raw power, 8 kilograms of C4 for precision, wire, detonators, and a fresh battery. Lessons learned from the Corps' dud. To navigate the sewer, a dank 3-foot-wide tunnel snaking from the city to the riverfront, Now measured its dimensions, crafting bombs slim enough to fit. Timing was critical. He chose 3:00 a.m. on May 2nd to strike, minimizing civilian risk and exploiting the night's cloak. At 6:00 p.m. on May 1st, Now and Hung launched 2 canoes down the Saigon River, hiding explosives beneath tarps. Near Thu Thiem, they mingled with dock workers to dodge patrols. But at 6:30 p.m., a South Vietnamese police boat closed in, its commander barking questions. Claiming they were smuggling clothes, Now slipped the officer 1,000 dong, a bribe that bought silence and time. By midnight, under a moonless sky, the pair slipped into the sewer, hauling their 88-pound payloads through slime and stench. Emerging near warehouse number 0, they swam silently to the card, moored at the pier with its crew asleep. For an hour, Now affixed the mines, one near the bilge, one by the engine room, his hands steady despite the cold water lapping his chest. Hung kept watch, grenade clutched, as timers ticked down. At 1:15 a.m., they retreated through the tunnel, surfacing at 2:45 a.m. 15 minutes later, at 3:00 a.m., a thunderous blast ripped through Saigon port. The card shuddered, water gushing into its hull, and sank stern first into the muddy riverbed, its deck tilted skyward in defeat. The explosion killed 5 American civilian crewmen, engineers caught in the blast's path, and wounded others scrambling from bunks. Captain Borge Langeland, a Norwegian-born mariner who'd faced U-boats in World War II, radioed, "She's gone down fast, holes massive." The card settled in 48 feet of water, its superstructure above the surface, a jagged wound exposing its vulnerability. By dawn, Saigon buzzed with chaos. South Vietnamese police cordoned the docks, U.S. Navy brass arrived, and salvage teams swarmed, pumping and patching the wreck. Raised on May 19th, after 17 grueling days, the card was towed to Subic Bay, then Yokosuka, Japan, for repairs. A new elevator hatch added to its hangar deck, returning to service by December 11, 1964. Yet the sinking's ripple was immediate and profound. For the Viet Cong, it was a propaganda coup. North Vietnam's government issued a 1964 postage stamp, American aircraft carrier Sank, immortalizing Now's triumph. Hanoi hailed it as proof of their reach, a blow to U.S. morale months before the Tonkin Gulf escalated the war. The U.S. downplayed it. Damaged, not sunk, officials claimed, fearing the optics of a naval loss to a low-tech foe. Port security tightened, barbed wire, floodlights, patrols, but the attack exposed vulnerabilities no fence could mend. Now, evading capture, reported to Saigon Gia Dinh headquarters, his superiors lauding his nerve. "We showed them," he later said in a rare 1990s interview, "that giants bleed too." The card's sinking jolted American planners. It was no frontline warship, yet its loss stung, a harbinger of the gritty, asymmetrical fight ahead. Now's operation was a masterstroke of guerrilla warfare, low-tech, high-impact, and steeped in cunning. The sewer route bypassed guards and gunboats, turning Saigon's own infrastructure against its occupiers. Twin mines, 80 kilograms TNT for brute force, 8 KC4 for precision, ensured devastation. Placed where they'd flood the engine room and cripple the hull. Timers, not fuses, bought escape time, a lesson from the Corps' failure, while the bribe disarmed suspicion, showcasing Now's street savvy. If you enjoyed this story and want more incredible historical tales, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.